Welcome, everyone. I can't believe we are live. Thank you so much for joining us today. My first ever live webinar with Coaching by OSA. My name is OSA Bartholomew. I'm so excited that you are joining us in this journey. With this global pandemic, there have been many changes and uncertainties, but it's also a time to trust God and to be still. For many of us, it has been a combination of hardships, but also blessings. It has been a combination of tests, but also lessons. One root word that I'm sure many of us can say defines what we all have been going through the whole year is fear. But today, I want you to look at fear in a different light. The Hebrew meaning of fear is to tremble for joy. In other words, it means to do it afraid. If you have never dealt with fear in your life, then this is not for you. If you have never dealt with failed relationships, heartache, sometimes the fear of starting over, then guess what? This webinar is not for you. If you have never dealt with unfairness or questioned the decisions that you've made, if you have never dealt with self-esteem issues, depression, insecurities, or even questioning God, then honey, this is not for you. But if you are ready to tremble with joy while igniting your faith to believe the unimaginable, if you are ready to take authority over your relationships, over your money, your career, your health, and your self-worth, then you, my dear, are in the right place. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." A little bit about me. I am a daughter, I am a proud wife, I am a mother, I am a sister, a friend, a relative, and I'm also a mix of many cultures that I'm proud of. I'm a product of Nigeria, the Dominican Republic, and the British Virgin Islands. I was born in the Bronx, exile for my Bronx people. Grew up in Lagos, Nigeria for several years, and then we relocated in the 90s and grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Then for college, I went to the first and the best. Don't debate me. Historically Black College and University, Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. I was blessed to also attend Temple University in Philly. My family has always instilled education to us, and I've always had a love for education, for entertainment, and for empowerment. I believe in using your gifts, which is why I started the Gift Agency, a talent and service management company about 15 years ago. I believe that God gives all of us gifts, and what we do with our gifts while we're here on this earth is our gift back to the Creator. I believe in encouraging others. I believe that as a man or woman think it in their heart, so is he. Speaking of that, a well-known book that I'm always talking about to my friends and family is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And that book changed my life over 10 years ago, because it showed me that if you can control the cause, then you can also control the effect. The book showed me that we have the power to design and mold our lives. And what's amazing about this book is that it was written in 1903, which is over 100 years ago. But the principles are timeless because what? We are makers of ourselves, right? Now, through my coaching services, Coaching by OSA, my goal is to help you to change the way you see yourself and transform your mindset to live the life you love. So I'm targeting high performers. And when I say high performers, I'm talking about you are your best at the work that you do, at the job. You are always there for your family, for whatever they need, right? You are that person that everyone can depend on. You are a cheerleader. You are a high performer. But who's cheerleading for you? Are you a high performer for yourself? If not, then let me help you. Let these women help you. that are here today. I always love to start with an icebreaker. Make sure you have your pen and paper or your device because you are going to be taking notes. First icebreaker. I want you to write down 5 things that you are grateful for. And secondly, I want you to write down 5 things that you want to see happen in 2021. I truly believe that when you write things down, then, things will manifest themselves and you'll see it for yourself. So before we start, I am so honored to have my sister, Ekiwa Asemota, join me in affirming this space. Ekiwa Asemota is a dance teaching artist and owner of Eki's Famous LLC, a fashion and performing arts company that is renowned, celebrated, and inspiring. She started her career early in the arts and received her bachelor's degree in fine arts and a minor in dance at Hofstra University. In 2015, she founded Your Queens Incorporated, the first 501c3 entertainment company bringing historic queens and kings of ancient African history to life through storytelling, song, and dance. Eki has been applauded for her work with Eki's Famous and Your Queens through various media outlets including Essence, Elle Magazine, Hot 97, The Root, and CBS. Speaking of media, you can also catch Eki on the radio every Friday night on New York City's WBLS, yes, historic WBLS, as she serves as a co-host on Afro Flavor Radio. Get your Afro beat on Fridays with DJ John Quick. Eki is also a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated and a 2015 recipient of the George M. Estabrook Distinguished Service Award at her alma mater, Hofstra University. She continues to grow as an artist by teaching, performing, speaking, and designing both nationally and globally. So please, let's welcome Eki Asemota.
What's going on, beautiful people? So honored, so proud of you, OSA, for this platform. I'm already getting my life from that message that you sent already. OSA, I love you, so proud of you. Let's go. And I'm so excited, so honored and happy to open this up with a powerful affirmation. So wherever you are, in the car, at home, I just want you all to repeat after me. We are here for 5 commitment to a better you. And we're going to talk about affirmations dealing with love, dealing with money, dealing with career, dealing with health, and dealing with yourself. Absolutely. So I want you all at home to repeat after me. Are y'all ready? Let's go. Let's go. I am love. I am not my past. I will let go. I love myself. I love you with all my heart. All right, let's go into money. I am wealthy. Because sometimes we get afraid of money and we think like, oh, no, do you know that you can have whatever you want in life? You deserve it. Black men, Black women, Black children, people of color, everyone around the world. There is enough for all of us. So again, I am wealthy. I am blessed. I am crowned with the goodness, and my path is full of abundance. I'm going to say that again. I am crowned with goodness, and my path is full of abundance. I am a millionaire. Affirm it. Let's try that again. We're going to say billionaire. I am a billionaire. I feel it. I feel y'all saying it. Let's go. I am ready for the overflow. Now we're going to shift to career. I have purpose. I am gifted. I am so powerful. Now we're going to shift to health. Very good. I am mentally, physically, and emotionally healthy. Yes. I take care of my mind, my body, and my soul. And last but not least, we're going to shift to self. And also started off with the word fear. Okay, because sometimes you got to do things afraid to get to that next level. So I, affirm it with me, am fearless. I am divine. I will never give up. And last but not least, I am a queen. I am a king. I am a prince. I am a princess. Yes. I am royalty. And thank you so much. You guys enjoy the rest. We have an amazing panel here for you all. It's going to be beautiful. I love you all. I love you, OSA. Hey.
So wonderful. I mean, the power of affirmations, the power of speaking life to yourself, just believing whatever it is that you want to come into your life.
Yeah.
Like, speak it, put it out there. It's coming to you. It's coming to you because you have to believe it, right? Let's talk about the 5 commitments. Now it's time to envision a better 2021. So let me tell you why I started the 5 commitments. Every year I have a vision board party with my friends. I either work on a vision board myself or we'll gather together and work on a vision board. One thing that I realized about vision boards is that if your mindset is not ready to receive what you've put on that vision board, then it's just glossy pictures. We have to work on being committed to ourselves first, being committed to believing that what we put down on that vision board can happen. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll happen in a year or 2 years. Sometimes it could take 10 years, but it's you believing it and trusting it and knowing that it will come. We have to do the work first with us. We have to be committed to us first. And that's why the 5 commitments was born. There is a popular saying that you become the average of the 5 people you are around the most. And today you are in good company with 5 phenomenal ladies. Today I invite you to join me in a live conversation with some of my dearest sisters, my girls, my friends, as we give you tips on how to change the way you see yourself and transform your mindset to live the life that you were created to live. So in 10 to 20-minute intervals, we will help you to design the roadmap. Get that pen and paper ready. That leads exactly to where you want to go by taking authority over the 5 most important pillars in your life: your money and your finance, relationships, health, self-care, and career. You are joined today by other like-minded individuals who are ready to get a jump start on how to achieve their short and long-term goals. We will have real, raw conversations about the 5 commitments. Commitment number 1 is better career shift. How to identify and effectively use your talents and gifts to accomplish your career goals. And I am so proud to have Nogie Udevulu, Wall Street executive and certified women's life coach. Nogie is a multi-passionate woman who loves encouraging and coaching women to live their best life and fulfill their purpose. She is the founder and lead coach of New Coaching LLC, a coaching company focused on helping professional women improve and maximize their career experiences. As a leader with almost 2 decades on Wall Street, she has served in leadership roles both in financial services industry and several professional networks, including the Women's Leadership Network and the Black Professional Network. She sits on the board of Ford Foundation, the Advisory Council of Bottom Line, and is a member of the FTSE America's Index Committee. Noguer was named in 2013 as a Rising Star finalist for the Bonds Women's Club Association and recognized in 2014 as Twigo's Top 40 Under 40. In 2018, Noguer was a fellow of the 92Y Women in Fellowship program geared for women a level below C-suite. She was awarded the 2020 Her Wall Street Award and recognized for being a woman of color, breaking glass ceilings in the financial services industry. Noguer has an MBA in General Management from the Darden School of Business at the University of Virginia and is a certified life coach. Noguer resides in New York with her husband and her 2 wonderful children. So, audience, let's get ready to hear from Noguer Udevulu.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the 5 Commitments. So, we're talking about career, making that shift, making that money, getting that promotion, just doing something that you were called to do. That is my greatest desire for all women, particularly women of color, to shine the way you ought to shine, to show forth your magic, for everyone to see that you are a necessary part of this world's existence. And so I am super, super happy to share a little bit about what things to think about, what questions to answer as you prepare your vision board, as you prepare your goals and your dreams. I think OSA did a fantastic job in describing me. What OSA didn't tell you is that she's done so much for me, and I'm super, super proud of all the great things she has done. Now, when we talk about shift, we're not talking 180, right? A shift is a tiny movement in position from one place to another, a small shift. And when you add those shifts, then you see the big change, but you have to start with a small shift. Very often we get a lot of people, especially a lot of women in color, in corporate America, just frustrated. I've been there. I know how it feels. Frustrated. No one is listening to you. No one is hearing you. No one is seeing the things that you're offering. Just so much going on. But then you can do more. You can exceed what you're doing. You can do better. I feel you. And so there are a couple of things that I use, like a 5-step recipe that I use in my coaching program, just to get the mind set in the right way to then cause you to take action. So number 1, we always do this reflection. We take a step and just reflect on everything we've done so far in our career. What was your highest of highs in your career, and what was your lowest of lows? I remember one of my highest of highs was when a supervisor that quit suddenly, and all of a sudden, I had to step up. It was either I stepped up or they hire someone else to be my supervisor. So that was my opportunity to show that I have learned a lot on the job. So I took it and I ran. I said, I can do this. I have what it takes. And I showed that we doubled revenue in the last 6 months of the year, because I was willing to come out of my comfort zone and just show them what I'm capable of. That was my highest of highs. Now, my lowest of lows was being passed on a promotion for no reason whatsoever. Man, I just felt like the world was coming down on me. Like, seriously, why me, right? But I could have spent more time questioning why me, or spend more time asking the questions, what can I do so this doesn't happen again, right? So there are always highs and lows. And the thing about highs and lows are sometimes it's not the job. Sometimes it could be other things outside of the job that is affecting you, but you're taking it out on the job. Always good to reflect. You have to reflect in order for you to move forward. Now, the moment you've recognized your highs and your lows, the next question is, in your highs, what was that skill set that got you to wake up in the morning? What made you get up?
I want to do it. For me, my skill set was analysis. I love solving problems. Give me numbers. I would talk about numbers in my sleep. I love it. So the opportunity to show how good I am in numbers kept me going. Always good to figure out what was it that really kept you going. Was it the fact that you were talking to people? That's a skill set. Not everybody has that. Was it the fact that you were good at organizing conferences and events for your group? That's a skill set. Not everybody has that. Always good to like reflect. Then we go to step 2, taking the strength test. Always good to know what your strengths are. You may think that your strength is talking to people. And then when you take the strength test, actually your strength is just connecting people, not talking, but just finding the right fit to solve the problem. These are ways of figuring out your purpose. You heard Eki. Eki said, I have a purpose. Our career is really all about our purpose, because someone is crying out there because you're not fulfilling their need. Your purpose is someone else's need. Do that strength test, figure out what your strengths are, and then look at what you're doing right now and seeing how much of what you're doing is leveraging your strength. So critical, because then that allows you to know what shift you need to make. You see the journey? First you reflect, then you take the test, the strength test, then you compare. Okay, these are my strengths. Now, the job that I have or the business that I'm running, how much of that is reflecting the strength that I have? And if you notice there's a gap, that's the first revelation. Congratulations. You notice there's something you need to do, something you need to fix. Time to get to action. Now, the third step is comfort zone versus stretch. There is no change that doesn't require discomfort. We could take it to the Bible too. The people of Israel, when they left Egypt, they went through the wilderness. They had to go through a transformation before getting to their promised land. You will not be able to take on that job if you're not ready for that job. You will not be able to take on that promotion if you're not mentally ready for that promotion. This is where we really focus on your stretch versus comfort zone. Everybody wants to be in their comfort zone, right? You like to go into an office where everybody knows your name, like everything is set for you, but you know you're bored on that job. So guess what? You have to shift. You have to get uncomfortable. Because if you want more money, if you want more recognition, more responsibility, and if you want that access that for your kids, you have to get uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable doesn't mean that it's going to be for a long time. It's going to be necessary so you can make that shift. So this is where you have to ask yourself that question. Do you believe you're worth that promotion? Do you believe you're worth that job? That new career, that switch? Are you ready for it? Are you worth it? If not, there's no need to have a conversation. But if you are ready, then this is what you have to do. Look at those gaps, those strengths that you have. How much of those strengths are you using right now in your job? For that promotion, for that job that you're looking for, how much of your strength is reflected in that job? What do you need to do to help you close that gap? You start writing it down. Do you need to go to school? Do you need to network with somebody? Like I had a coachee that she really was the go-to person in her office. Like anything she could do, but she was bored. And what she realized was that no one else was able to do what she could do. And I said, okay, if you want to make bank manager, you have to kind of clone yourself. Who in your office right now is able to do the things you do? Who in your office has the ability? You need to start training them so that when that bank manager promotion shows up, you're ready. You're not stuck being the only person that could do your job. Now you have others who could do it, so you can take on a higher job. That's closing the gap. That's you recognizing that it's okay to share. You're not going to lose your job if you show other people how to do it. You're actually giving yourself the opportunity to get more. This is the principle of giving in your career. You want to advance in your career, you have to learn to share. So if you're skilled somewhere, turn around, teach somebody else, because as you're given, something is going to come to you. This is it. There's a principle here. Please hear me out. It works. It works. It works. If you want to move higher, you have to learn to give, right? Otherwise, you'll be stuck doing the same thing, and then you're wondering why you're not going anywhere. Well, you're the only one that knows how to do it, and until someone else can, they really can't move you, right? A lot of us get stuck in that situation. Don't let that be your story. Start to realize what you need to make that shift. You need to get yourself out of your comfort zone. So my coaching program ran for 7 weeks. That was getting out of your comfort zone. You gave up some time on your weekend so you could see a shift. And I've been seeing shift on my coaches. It's amazing. But that's what you do. You make that commitment. You get uncomfortable to become comfortable at the higher level. So that's step number 3. Okay. So what did we say? Number 1, you reflect. Number 2, you figure out what your strengths are. Number 3, you really have that true conversation with yourself to say, hey, if I want to make this move in my career, am I ready to make the commitment required? Am I ready to spend that money to make that shift? Am I ready to teach others so that more can come to me? Those are real questions that only you can answer and only you can handle, right? Number 4, this is where we start to plan and strategize. This is where you start thinking, okay, who's going to be my accountability partner? Who's going to call me up and remind me of the things I said I was going to do? So I'll tell you right now, in my personal board of directors, OSA is one of them. She will call me and remind me, hey, you said you were going to do that podcast. Have you done it yet? Right? Hey, you said you were going to do that conference. Have you done it yet? You need to start figuring out who your personal board of directors are. It's part of your planning. The ones that will call you and remind you of what you need to do because they know you really want that move in your career. You want more money. You want that promotion. You want that influence. You need those folks, right? In the planning and the strategizing, it's also figuring out who you need to talk to. For example, if you want promotion on the job, right? First of all, you need to figure out what requirements are needed for that promotion, right? So that's a strategy. So you write it down. Number 1, I need to figure out what is required to get promoted. Do I need to talk to my manager? Do I need to talk to HR? Do I need to talk to a supervisor? Write it down and make sure that that is your action plan. All these little things, these little actions, they're all shifts. That coachee, for example, wanted to make bank manager, didn't even know that all she needed to do was just schedule a meeting with the area manager and just ask. You know, she scheduled the meeting and the manager said, you know what? We're going to come up with a plan on how to make you bank manager. And then before she left the room, he said, I've been waiting for you to ask. Bingo. If you don't ask, no one is giving it to you. Do you now understand why the planning and the strategy is critical? If you don't ask, it's not coming, right? The Bible says, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Action, action, action. You have to take action for you to receive. If you're waiting for it to just happen to you, sometimes it does. That's great. But guess what? Not all the time. And you're letting life manage your career instead of managing your career for life. You see the difference? And the beautiful thing about the law of attraction is what you desire will come to you. It would propel that energy and want you to move towards that direction. All of a sudden, people will want to help you. But it starts with you, right? And then the final thing, take action. Don't wait. Just do it. Like seriously, just do it. What are you waiting for? There is no excuse for you not to take action. Declaring your purpose and knowing that God is working it out for you. I know you guys are going to crush it. And I speak the word of God over your life, that all things are working together for your good. God bless you.
I want to thank you for that. And you all will get Nogia's information. She is available for coaching services. So I encourage you to sign up for her coaching services. So we are going on to commitment number 2, better money habits, finances, family, and future planning. I am so honored to have one of my closest friends join us today to talk about better money habits, Wendy Castro. Wendy is a finance director of Spring Studios, an integrated creative agency with production, state-of-the-art studios, and also home to prestigious events. She has over 20 years of experience in the private sector within finance, entertainment, and the licensing industries. She has a bachelor's in accounting from Monroe College. She is a proud Latina raised in the Bronx. She is the biological mother of one, the honorary godmother to so many, 20 plus nieces, nephews, and godchildren, and also grandma to 4 beautiful boys. So audience, please join me in welcoming Wendy Castro.
Hi guys, how are you? I'm going to share my screen. I'm more about visual than I am about just speaking on it. When it comes to, budgeting, everybody has, your own spending habits, and you have your funds that you have now earned. So how do I spend it? And a lot of people forget that, hey, there's going to be a tomorrow. So we also have to plan and save, for tomorrow so that we can have that little nest, that cushion, which is basically your retirement fund, so that tomorrow you're not, stuck looking at yourself like, okay, what happened? The money that I made, where did it go? I'm hoping that you guys can see this. This is a little budget that I put together. And to be honest with you, this was something that I do. I'm not going to say monthly. I kind of like do it weekly because my cost, they just change, right? And sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. The income, unfortunately, stays the same. And I say unfortunately because it doesn't grow unless you make it grow, right? So if your income is $5,000 a month, and again, this income here, this is your net. This is your take home. This is not your gross, because gross looks great on paper, guys. But when it comes to what exactly am I taking home, a lot of the times you're like, that's it? Yeah, that's it. So reality check, that's all you're taking home, because Uncle Sam, even though you've never met him, his hands are in your pocket before you even make that first dollar. So you have your total income, you have a $5,000. And then, here comes your rent. It's either your rent or it's your mortgage, whatever it is. But obviously you need that roof over your head, right? You have the lights, because obviously without light, you don't have an internet. So let's get that light bill paid. You have your cell phones, because everybody lives on their cell phones and their smartphones and all these technologies, right? Cable, because for me, I need my Real Housewives. Like, I can't live without my housewives. OSA knows this. Don't call me on a Sunday night, because that's what I'm going to be watching. And then, obviously you have your monthly travels, whether it be the MTA, the trains, the buses. It could be gas, because now you're driving to work. It's your tolls, whatever it is. You need to make sure that you have that money set aside for that, because obviously without that, you're not getting to work, right? Grocery, unfortunately, has gone up. The prices in food has gone up. You want to make sure that you try and stick to a list. And I'm going to be the first one to say I'm not as good as creating a list, because a lot of the times I'll go in there and I'll say, okay, I'm only going into the grocery store and I'm only going to pick up 5 things. But then, darn it, here comes, the sales, right? And then you're like, well, I do need this. And a lot of the times have these, people talking to you where, do you really need it? So, but it depends, right? Like, if that sale is a really good sale, you can't pass up on it, because now you can put that in your pantry, right? And then tomorrow you don't have to look for that. So, but try to stick to a number in your mind on a monthly that you try not to go over. Car payments, they are what they are. If you have a car and you're leasing it, that money's going to directly come out of your bank account. And so is your insurance. Without a car insurance, you'll be in jail. So make sure you have your insurance, paid up. Credit cards, I'm just jotting down 3 credit cards. That could be a store card, that could be your main card where you use it. A lot of people use their credit cards to go grocery shopping to earn some points, and then they'll use those points to basically be able to pay down credit card balances. And then you have just another credit card where you don't really need that credit card, but darn it, they gave me, this great offer and I wanted to go get that little bag. And so you have that credit card, right? Then you have, we ladies and men too. Men have to go to the barber shop, right? Ladies, we go to our hair salons. We go and get our nails done. Now, because of COVID, in a way, it's kind of like helped me because I haven't been going to the hair salon and the nail salon as much. I'm putting more money into my savings, but you want to look good for you because I think, when you look cute, you kind of like, you kind of stand taller. Entertainment is something also that we need to make sure that we take care of ourselves. It can't just be all about work. Entertainment can just be going into, a brunch, going to a nice dinner with some friends. You work hard, you've earned it. I'm not saying that you're going to do this every week, guys, but when you can, take advantage of it. Get a babysitter, and then you can go off with your significant other. You guys have earned it because you work so hard to make sure that there's food on the table, a roof over your head, all of your overheads are paid. Take care of yourself. So I always say you have to add entertainment into your budget. Here's your income minus all of your expenses. And then you have a little bit of something remaining, the remaining portion of it. Now you say, okay, I have $890. What am I going to do with that? Well, the first thing that you should do is think about savings. Make sure that you have something saved. Put it into your savings account where you're not going to touch it. Definitely make sure that it's an amount that you can live without. Make sure that you're being realistic. Don't even look at it. Don't touch it. And when you come and see 10 months later, wow, I got $4,000. Don't touch it. Just leave it there. It's going to help in the future. And trust me, especially when you have kids, $4,000 looks like a lot of money. But when you have kids and they have to go get braces or they have to go, to get some kind of a doctor's appointment or whatever the case is, it goes out the door, guys. You're looking at it like, what happened? Like it took me 10 months to save this, but it went out the window in one shot. Make sure that whatever money that you're saving, you're not touching. You don't need it. You don't go in there and save $400 and then, within the week, I just need $50. That's not saving. Think about something that you really want and put your mind to it. Put the money set aside. Don't touch it. And the next thing you know, you have that money to buy one or two of them. And to be honest with you, a lot of the time when you see that money is saved, you're going to be like, wow, I did that. Just encourage yourself more and more to continue doing that. Trust me, you're going to need savings. You don't want to keep, going into a credit card, which have all these, high increased percentages and all this stuff. Like, save some money, guys. The next thing that I wanted to go to, and if you take a look at the screen that I have here, your income versus your cost, percentage wise, 67% of it went to cost, and those are your necessities. That's your rent, that's your car payment, that's your food, all these things are your necessities, right? Then 16% of it is your discretionary. Discretionary meaning, hey, I want to go out, so I want to go get my nails done, my hair done, what have you. That's a discretionary. The 8% that I have down here is your savings. Now, normally what people say is that it should be a 50-30-20 rule. That's something that a lot of people try. That's your goal, right? But unfortunately, your necessities a lot of the times are, more than 50% of what you're earning. Just again, these are just small things that I put together for you guys to take a look and see. When it comes to your credit cards, I was touching a little bit on it. Credit card has been a big thing because especially now during COVID, a lot of people have either lost their jobs or a lot of people have, had their wages, cut down, which is sad, but it happens, right? So unfortunately, because of that, you've been using your credit cards more and more. Just be mindful of your spending. Try and only grab whatever you need. Remember, whatever you purchase on that credit card, tomorrow you have to pay for it. And on top of that, you're going to have, an interest rate on that credit card. Don't exhaust that credit card. Use it for your necessity, really, especially now. I don't think that we should be going out there. And that's just me purchasing luxury and stuff like that. To me, it's more important that I make sure that I have a roof over my head, that I have food on the table, and that my light is on. That's my bread and butter. That's what I'm working for. So I think we need to make sure that we stick onto that. When it comes to your credit cards, take a look at them on a monthly basis. Try and pay more than your minimum. You call up your credit card companies and you tell them, hey, this interest rate is really high. What can you do to bring down this interest rate for me? Unfortunately, the interest rate, when they bring it down, it doesn't reflect your balance that you have currently, but it will reflect the future purchases that you have. Also look into and ask if they have any, balance transfers. They're great, right? They help you 0% for the first 6 months. They'll obviously have a charge for that balance transfer, but a lot of the times that charge is a lot less than what your, let's say, 6 months worth of interest will be. Try and see if you can get all of them together in one card and pay it down. And again, try and pay more than the minimum, because paying the minimum down, the majority of that money is going towards the interest. You don't want that. You want to make sure that, and set yourself a goal of, I'm going to take these payments and I'm going to divide it by 6. So within 6 months, I'll have this paid off. Your credit cards paid is going to increase your credit score. Obviously, a higher credit score will help you get lower interest rate for whatever big ticketed, purchases that you want to make. Secondly is savings. So savings, like I touched on it, you want to take some funds and you want to save it into your bank account. But another big saving, speaking this from the heart and from my experience, is look into your job and find out if your job have benefits such as a 401k. 401k plans are very necessary. Like, don't ever pass that up. No matter, how young you're, like, oh, you know what, I'm only 20, I'm in my early 20s, I don't really need to think about, savings. I don't need to think about retirement, because, that's not going to happen until another 40 to 60 years. Trust me, the sooner you start saving, and again, just save whatever you can. Don't listen to other people. Well, I'm saving, 10%, 20%. No, do what you can do. And it can be a percentage of your salary, and it can also be a set amount. But the very first time that you do it, don't go so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go in there and put down maybe, a small amount. Can I do without that? Yeah, I didn't even feel it. So then, just do a little more and a little more. And then kind of like meet your medium, where they're taking out these funds from your 401k plan and it doesn't bother you. Definitely look into, though, the 401k plans. A lot of your employers will match. And a lot of the times what they'll do is, if you deposit 5% of your salary on a monthly basis, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to give you 2.5. So basically half of that amount that you've just contributed. That's free money, guys. Do not ever leave free money on the table and walk away. That is free money. Let me tell you, I do not walk away from free money. Okay, so what they do is they'll tell you, if you work for me for the next 5 years, I will give you this, let's say 2.5%. So what's going to happen is, every year they're probably going to say, you know what, you've stayed with me for a year, so 20% of those funds are yours. Then another 20, then another 20. Here comes 5 years. Now 5 years nowadays is 20 years back in, 20 years ago or what have you. So a lot of people tend to change jobs every 5 years, whatever the case is. But think about it. If you left this job 5 years later, guess what? 100% of the money that the company has given you goes with you. You get to keep it. At the end of the year, obviously I look at my, my 401k plan. I look at it periodically. I don't, live on it. I don't review it every day, because if so, then I would be driving myself crazy. But periodically, yes, look at it. Periodically, yes, do call your 401k provider and ask them, am I doing well? Take a look at the trend. Take a look and see how much money you're making, or if you're losing. And then with that, you talk to the advisors and see what they tell you. They will definitely guide you, and you can take a look and see where you started to where you are now. And trust me, where you are now is going to be way better than when you started, especially because you did start contributing this 401k. If you don't start contributing to this 401k, guys, tomorrow you're going to look at yourself and say, damn it, I have no money. Because realistically, whatever funds you save in the bank is going to be probably less than 1%. But when you look at, and you save your money in your 401k, trust me, you will see the returns. A lot of the times you're like, I got that much money, I'm rich. You're not, but you're on your way there. If you have children and you want to obviously save for your children's, future, you can look into a 529 plan. I did that for my child. I saved for her. And to be honest with you, I started with probably like $20, which is a very small amount. Then I switched it over, because like I said, as you switch jobs, you go for, getting more money. Every time you switch job, guys, make sure you give yourself a bonus. Make sure you increase your salaries, especially now that they can't ask you what your prior salaries were. And then make sure that whatever monies that you put aside, you set aside for your child, 529 plan. Is going to be set for their college funds. Obviously, you can't touch it. They can't touch it until they're ready to go to school. But when that time comes, what they're going to do is the younger your child is, obviously the risks are going to be higher so that your returns are better. And then the closer your child gets to, becoming that 17 years of age or 18 years of age, now they're going to college, then they're going to make sure that that they slow it down to make sure that you have the money there for your child. My daughter went to college. She didn't have a student loan, which was way better than what I had to do. I had to pay my student loan. But that to me was a gift that I was able to give to my child so that she wouldn't have to worry about, okay, now I'm out of school. Now I have to worry about paying this stuff back. One additional thing that I wanted to mention is, your life insurance. So you go into, here's my savings, here's my 401k, you got a great job, but then now here comes, Debbie Downer. People think about life insurance as a Debbie Downer because you're thinking about death. Don't think about it that way. Think about it as I'm leaving something for my child or for my spouse other than a liability. I've left them now with money towards the house. So think about it, that way. You're saving these funds for your children, which your beneficiary, which they need it. And the last thing is, when it comes to, again, saving money and putting money aside for, again, your 401k, what have you, and also think about investing, in stock, invest in real estate. So basically purchasing property whenever you can, if you can, obviously, because that property, whatever amount of money you put down to it, and if you pay it off, great, you just less property for your children. And then also invest in bonds and in gold. But for me, the most essential thing is to invest in yourself, in your education, invest in your children's education, because without that, I think you're really not going to get as far as you can. A lot of people don't go to college because they have, street smarts, but it's always good to pick up that book, and it's always good to take a class and to better yourself, to get yourself, acclimated with what's going on in the world. Pick up that newspaper, guys. It's not all about just, IG and Facebook and stuff like that. Listen to the news and listen to what's going on, and make sure that you're educated on what's going on around you, because as soon as you know what's going on around you, it sets you up not only for success, but before you hit that door, before you open that door, you know what to expect, whether it be weather-wise, whether it be the stock market is down, or I'm going to be able to get a job, a better, have better chances of getting a job because now unemployment has gone down. That means that more people are out there hiring. So thank you for listening. I hope I didn't bore you guys. Educate yourself. Thank you.
That was such great information that you shared. Of course, it's information that you share with me all the time, and you've helped me with, planning the 529 plan for the kids and saving. So it was a wealth of wonderful information. I do want to share this quick disclaimer that the information provided here is for informational purposes only. It should not be considered, and this is for every conversation that we have today, should not be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. You should always consult with a medical, financial, or licensed professional to determine what may be best for your individual needs. But Wendy, again, I believe that in preparing for the vision board, and again, we always see people put more money or a better job or more money at my job, but there are so many other things tied into that. The savings aspect, the 401k, it's so important. And I remember even in my 20s, I didn't think it was important. When I was in my 20s, I did it for like a couple of months, and I was like, no, I'm not putting my money in, because I didn't think about the value of the company matching. And I look back now and I know that if I had started earlier, I would have so much more right now, but I'm glad that I know it now. So I do encourage everyone to take advantage of the retirement options, the 401k options within your company's life insurance. It is so great that you touched on that, because a lot of people think about it towards the end, or they think that they don't need it based on their age group. We don't want things to happen, of course not, but we have to be prepared. We have to stop with the GoFundMes. We have to stop with everyone pitching money together. We have to look into life insurance. It can start small. So thank you again for that. Save that money. Yes, Ruby. Hi, Ruby. Save that money. El Balcom said, this is so awesome, Osa. Entire webinar is packed with so much information. Thank you so much. We are so grateful for you all. Manny Fordreau said, thank you, Castro. Appreciate the knowledge. Shannon said, thank you, Wendy. I mean, this was great. I mean, like I told people, these are real, raw conversations. So we are giving it to you straight, and Wendy did just that.
And I just wanted to mention one last thing. Right now during COVID, the 401k, the government has actually put some things into place where you can actually borrow up to $100,000 from your 401k, and you're not going to be penalized for that. So these are things that you want to Google and you want to look into, because I, per se, to be honest with you, I've taken advantage of that. And I think a lot of people don't know about that those are incentives that are happening right now during COVID. But you can actually take money. I'm not saying borrowing. You can actually take up to $100,000 of your 401k out and utilize it if you need it, because, you know, for whatever reason you've lost your job, whatever the case is, and it'll help you and during the times until you can get yourself back up. So just wanted to mention that as well. That
is a wonderful tip. And even adding on to that, because of the virus, there have been several incentives. So Google, you know, Google is your friend, but don't use it for every advice. But, you know, go on Google and look up incentives, tax incentives, financial incentives due to the coronavirus. So thank you again. So Wendy touched on developing a better relationship with your money. And we are now going to go into relationships, period. So for commitment number 3, our focus is on better relationships. Relationships, love, family, children, friends, leaving past issues behind, opening your heart to new relationships, defeating strongholds, family trauma. So today we have Dr. Kimberly Barry, mental health counselor at Kimberly Barry Consulting. A dynamic motivator and inspiration of change, Kimberly Barry is a psychotherapist and global life strategist coach. Dr. Barry is a change agent with the unique gift of problem solving. She has worked with people of all cultures, stages, and ages across the globe. Kimberly Barry is influential in helping people to move past potential into accomplishments. As a chaplain and officiant, Dr. Barry has a prophetic gift, and this woman of God is dedicated to elevating souls for the kingdom of Christ as a kingdom ambassador. She has an advanced degree in clinical counseling, a master's degree in counseling, and a bachelor's in organizational management. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kimberly Barry, who will speak on better relationships.
Thank you for having me. I'm here to talk about relationships. I want to start with defining relationships. Definition for relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, the state of being connected. Relationships are the foundation for life. It's key. I don't know if we actually realize that relationships are from our parents' womb, our mom's womb. Scientists have now realized that the fetus is cognizant. It knows certain aspects. So that's the first point of relationships. And when the child comes out, the way we nurture this child as parents is another aspect of forming healthy relationships. Healthy relationships starts with self-love. And it's the parent's responsibility to give that to their child, to their children, to nurture them, to bring them in that aspect of self-love. Things have been handed down from generation to generation. So if those parents didn't receive the healthy love and affirmation that they needed, unless they learned it, chances are they're going to repeat what their parents did and hand it down to their children. So it becomes a cycle. It becomes a vicious cycle. There are several types of relationships, such as relationships with people, relationships with places, relationships with things, relationships with food, emotionally eating, not eating. What is really eating them? What was some of the self-talk that they're telling themselves? What was fed to them that they believe? Everyone that we form a relationship with, there's something that that other person needs and that we need. There's some components that are needed in relationships. For example, trust. We need to be able to trust each other and ourselves. Relationships, once again, are the foundation for life. It's across the board. And when people lack relationships, that's when we see certain behavior, sociopaths, psychopaths. They experience deficits because of the lack of relationships, because of the lack of love, the lack of belonging. Everyone needs to belong. Respect is another key component in our relationship. Everything we do for someone else, we must do for ourselves. Respecting yourself first and foremost, because when you have respect for yourself, there are certain aspects that you won't allow to happen to you. The way you present yourself is the way they're going to receive you, and then that sets the tone, that sets the precedence in reference to the relationship. Another aspect in relationship is consistency. It's being consistent with whatever another person's love language is. Are we having our love language fulfilled? Are we fulfilling the other person's love language? Another aspect of relationships is effective communication. Being able to listen wholeheartedly, being able to receive wholeheartedly. And listening is twofold, because listening is listening to what was said and listening for what was not said. Another aspect of relationships is being able to listen to oneself. We are the first line of defense in our relationships, because our self-talk dictates the actions that we'll take. We have to be clear about what we're telling ourselves. However, there are outside influences that's affecting us. So we have to check, like, where did this come from? Is this even my character? Is this even my nature? Whenever we do something, it should be in the now. So right now, look at your relationships. Look at the things that are occurring in your relationships. Whatever repetitious things are happening, how are you facilitating it? How are you a part of what's happening in our relationship? Are you understanding what your spouse is saying? Are you guys speaking the same language? Are you communicating to your spouse where your spouse understands what you're saying? Is there a direct connection? What we're taught was handed down. So let me give you an example. If someone, say a female, grew up in a single family home and she didn't have the father figure to affirm her as a child growing up, as a young lady. So now as she grows up, she's going to seek that, whether she's conscious of it or not. Typically, she may be unconscious of her seeking this validation. And now when she's seeking the validation, it will land her in relationships that most likely will be unhealthy because she didn't have it to start with. So this is something where the healing has to take place. The therapy comes in, and or coaching, consulting comes into place to allow her to see the missing components and then navigate through it so that she can recognize what a healthy relationship is. It happens in the mind first. Let me say, like I always say, in the spiritual realm first before the physical manifestation of it. When certain components are missing, then we naturally will seek it in other ways. So that's where I come in to help individuals to see, hey, did this happen? Was this a cause? And how can we now observe and get to the root of the matter? You'll keep going through it over and over again until you learn the lesson. Once the lesson has been learned, you move on to the next stage. You will graduate to higher levels. Look at your life. Write down the things that you've been repeating. Look at the cycles. What have you been continuously doing in relationships and getting the same results? You know, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. How can you change that? How can we look into this? How can we put a plan together to cause a shift and to allow you to be free and have healthy relationships? That's my talk for today. Thank you again, OSA.
That was absolutely a necessary conversation because relationships are the root of everything that we do. And if we don't take a look at how we've been brought up, take a look at the relationships within our families, we're bound to repeat a lot of the same things. And we may not know that a lot of the mistakes that we've made in the past or a lot of the patterns that we're going through are the reason why we're not seeing things come to fruition. And it really does start with the mind. Such great information. The key components of a relationship: trust, respect, love language. So, Dr. Kim, again, thank you so much. We will share information for all of the speakers, and I'll speak more on it towards the end of the program. But let us continue on. Commitment number 4, health, fitness, mental health, and spiritual health. How to take control of your health and wellness, creating boundaries, getting rid of excuses, setting up fitness goals, being consistent in your mental, physical, and spiritual health. And today, I'm pleased to have Kalia Moss, certified holistic health coach and educator for Glow Girl Wellness, a certified holistic health counselor, wellness educator, and plus size model. Kalia dreamed of being in a magazine and seeing her face on the TV screen, but she didn't fit the standard of beauty. Even though she had no clue how her dreams would materialize, giving up was not an option. Her battles with depression and anxiety was just the fuel she needed to not just change her life, but help others change theirs. Kalia has sprinkled her Black girl magic and her curves on the pages of Essence Magazine, People Magazine, O Magazine, and Glamour, to name a few. She also shared her weight loss story on ABC News with Diane Sawyer that melted the hearts of America. Her transparency about her struggles with mental health and obesity have inspired others. Kalia Moss created Glow Girl Wellness to empower, inspire, and educate women to live a healthier lifestyle, no matter the size. So let's welcome Queen Kalia Moss.
I just want to say, OSA, thank you so much for having me. I'm just so grateful to share with all of you a little bit about myself, and also hopefully I can give you some tips to help you. My company is called Glow Girl Wellness. It's God's love overflowing. So before I get started, I want to do a moment of meditation with you guys. So what I would like you to do is to get comfortable in wherever you are. If you drive in, just listen. And I want you to be still. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to get in tune with your breath. And I want you to inhale and exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Don't hold in that breath. Let it out. Hear that sound come out. Ask you these 3 questions. Who am I? What am I grateful for? And why am I here? What am I supposed to learn in this call, on this live, in this moment? I want you to take one more deep breath inhalation and exhale. Open your eyes. Hello. Health and wellness, it's not just what you're eating. It is, but it's also about what's eating you. The things that are eating you are what's causing many of us to be out of balance. What can we do to regain our health and to get in balance? The foods that I'm going to share with you are not the foods that you're thinking of. They're called primary foods. Our primary foods are our relationships, our spiritual connection, our physical activity, and our career. Those are 4 major parts of our life. Our relationships are important. I don't know about you, but when I think about the times where I was my heaviest and my unhealthiest, I think back, like, what were my relationships like? How was I interacting with my friends? If I had a significant other at the time, my parents, what did that look like? My career, was I happy? Was I just going to work and collecting a check, or was I living my life's purpose? Am I doing the work that God put me here to do? Physical activity, what was I doing? Was I getting up and moving every day? Was I going out for a walk? What was I doing? My spiritual connection, this is my favorite. I recently gave my life back to God. Almost a year and a half ago, I was baptized. And along my walk, I realized that when I was not my healthiest, I wasn't close to God either. I was miserable at my jobs. I was eating anything, going to McDonald's, not caring what I was putting into my body. My relationships were all over the place. I was depressed, suffering from anxiety. I was losing friendships. And it was one of the hardest times of my life. So when you think about your health, I want you to think about those 4 areas of your life and where they are and how to shift and change them is by making simple life changes. You know, health is from a perspective of wholeness. What makes creating healthier lifestyle changes more sustainable. I was newly a health coach, and I knew that quick, easy, lose weight in five minutes was not going to be sustainable. You have to change your lifestyle. I had to start all over. Sometimes we don't like to talk about it, we don't like to think about it because we don't want to make certain changes. But if you want something different, you're going to have to do something different. And it's going to mean getting up, get moving. My work as a health coach is, mind, body, and spirit. And being in alignment, something that I want to share with you. Create rituals. My morning rituals, I get up in the morning. Of course, you do all your washing of your face and you do personal care things. But I pray. I pray with my prayer group. After prayer, we meditate. Prayer is you talking to God, and meditation is quieting your mind so that God can speak to you. And your body is your temple. Whatever you put in it is what you're going to get out. When you get that brand new car, you want to put the best gas in it, right? You're going to take care of it. You're going to make sure you wash it. And so that's what you should do with your body. You should only give your body the best. So we have to look at our health in a whole. It's every aspect of your life. Some tips that I want to give you is eating clean. Eating clean. Are you eating enough vegetables? When you go into the grocery store, are you shopping in those inner aisles? Because I'm going to tell you, those inner aisles is where all of the things that we don't need to be eating are. We need to be eating whole foods. You want to get your greens. You want to get your fruits. When you're craving, and I crave too, when you're having those cravings of sweets and you want a candy bar, make sure you have fruits in your refrigerator. Make a smoothie. Preparation. If you fail to plan, you will plan to fail. Meal prepping is a great tool. It may take a few hours to do so, but I guarantee you throughout your week, you will be so grateful that you did. Instead of going to McDonald's to get something, it's like, oh, I already have food made, and warm it up. Make sure you have these 3 things when you are meal prepping, that you have food that are high in protein. Make sure you have healthy carbs, and you need to have your vegetables. Eating seasonally is very important as well. Even though we can go to the grocery store and get whatever we want, no matter what time of the year it is, your body naturally just digests foods differently in different seasons. During the winter, root vegetables. Root, you want to be grounded. Hearty foods that will sustain you through winter months. So eating clean, whole foods. Also, when you are getting things out of packages, you want to make sure you're reading your labels. It is so important to read labels. If you can't understand half of that stuff that's on there, then you don't need to eat it. Second, yes, and put it back. It's hard, and I struggle with it too, but I have to be honest with you and transparent, especially if you have created that goal, whether it's I want to lose 5 pounds, whether I want to lose 10 pounds, whether I want to, just drop that dress size, whatever your goal is, you have to tailor how you eat towards your goal. I learned a lot from someone who has passed. His name is Dr. Sabi. I don't know if any of you have heard of him. His philosophies changed my life, and I learned about alkaline and acidity through his work. And that was one of the catalysts for me to go to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition to receive my certifications in health and wellness. We have to be mindful of the foods that we eat. When we have a highly acidic diet, we are more susceptible to disease and illness. With COVID taking lives, I lost my great aunt to COVID on Good Friday. And we have to arm our immune systems right now. So we want to keep your body in a state of being alkaline as much as you can. That is why it's important to make sure you're eating your vegetables and your fruits, and that you're staying away from processed foods that will weaken and suppress your immune system. In the morning, the first thing I do, I take my liquid multivitamin. I love my liquid multivitamin. It absorbs in the body 98%. As soon as I take it, I feel it. I know it's working. When you take vitamins that are in pill form, that have been sitting on the shelf for God knows how long, your body only absorbs anywhere between 20 to maybe 30%, if that. So you want to have something that's liquid, that hits your bloodstream, that's working instantly. Detoxing is very important. How many of you don't move your bowels normally? If you eat every day, you have to move your bowels every day. And the more you are not having healthy bowel movements, those toxins are just building up and building up and building up and building up, and that weakens your immune system. So you want to make sure that you're detoxing. I do a lot of juice cleansing and fasting. When you're fasting and you're detoxing, you're giving your body a break. You're giving your body a break on all of the things that you've put in it. I mean, eating healthy, people think it's nasty. It's, I don't want to eat like a rabbit. But when you eat healthy, your body is like, yes, and you feel good. I love when I used to eat there. I love your double cheeseburger. Ooh, I love me some double cheeseburger from Burger King. But after I ate it, I felt heavy. I felt tired, and I didn't feel good. But after I eat a salad, now you're talking about a salad with some feta cheese, maybe some grilled shrimp, grilled chicken, grilled salmon, some tomatoes. I love spicy food. So some jalapeno peppers, some black olives, some tomatoes, cucumbers. You mix your own little salad dressing. It doesn't have to be salad dressing from the grocery store. You can whip up some olive oil, some apple cider vinegar, some herbs, some fresh garlic, some shallots. Shake that up, pour it over your salad, eat that up, and you feel energized. That is how your food is supposed to make you feel. It's supposed to give you the energy that you need. Remember, your food is your fuel. Again, I want to just reiterate, to create and set goals, stay consistent, get up and move every day, get in tune with your God. I'm a Christian, but whomever your God is, get in tune. Work on your career, on your life's purpose. You got some great tips early on how to do that. And your relationships. If you have healthy relationships, then thank God for that. But if some of your relationships aren't, work on it. I want to just thank OSA so much. The other women that have come before me, you are amazing. I'm so grateful to be here with all of you women of God. It's a blessing, and thank you so much. And I hope what I shared was impactful.
Our last commitment is self-advocacy, personal goals, personal style, and you. How to recognize who you are and align it with the way you truly want to see yourself. And today, I am so happy to have one of my favorite people, Alicia Crutchfield McLean, founder and lifestyle architect for StyleWise. Alicia Crutchfield McLean is a prominent fashion stylist, tech, and lifestyle entrepreneur who splits her time between New York City and Connecticut. Alicia has over 16 years of experience in the fashion industry. Her keen fashion sense, work ethic, and risk taking has led to a successful career in high fashion, editorial, runway, theater, TV, and film. Alicia is constantly evolving and growing her professional portfolio. With her current role as founder and CEO of StyleWise, she is paving the way with her highly sought approach to living an abundant lifestyle, where personal development meets style. Through her StyleWise Life program, tools, specialized techniques, and positive philosophy, many have learned to create more of what they want in their lives, more wellness in their bodies, minds, and spirits. Alicia will be joining us via audio. She has a family commitment today, but I'm so grateful that you are able to join us via audio today. So, Alicia, let's go.
I'm on audio because I'm actually driving to Boston. My mother had a stroke this morning, so I'm jetting to her. So please add her and my family to your prayers today.
Absolutely.
I would greatly appreciate it. She is stable and I was able to speak to her, but she encouraged me to proceed with this webinar. I was gonna cancel, and I would hate to cancel on you, OSA, but it's extremely important and rewarding for me to be here to share what I've learned, what I've incorporated into my lifestyle to live as I desire with intention and abundance. It wasn't until I started seriously taking time for myself, for my self-care, for my mental well-being, that my life really changed. And self-care is so much more than sipping tea, pretty bubble baths, and face masks and all that good stuff. While all of those things are great ways to unwind, they don't inherently hold any value. So you can alleviate stress temporarily by soaking in a hot tub or getting a massage, but real self-care requires work and dedication. It's resolving inner conflicts, practicing positive self-talk, affirmations, and just being more aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and how they contribute to your overall well-being. You have to truly get to know yourself to determine what strategies and habits will work for you. And that has changed my life tremendously. I believe that is the key to reaching your highest potential and living as your true self. Self-care, inner core, identity. There are so many layers surrounding and protecting that inner core, so you have to work hard to get to it. I like to use the skincare routine as an example. You know how we have, our routine. We have to deeply cleanse our skin, exfoliate, remove dead skin cells, all that stuff, all these layers before the serums that we apply can actually work. Well, treating your inner self core is like that meticulous beauty routine. It took me maybe a little over 3 years to do some deep internal cleansing and purging to get to my core, to treat it. I had quite a bit of limiting beliefs that I had to address and dismantle to get to this point where I'm now living my life with clarity. I've been able to achieve more of my goals from my vision board, short-term goals. I'm abundant, a mindset abundance, financial abundance, relationship abundance. I've gotten to a point where I'm living life with confidence. I'm sure we all have our own dedicated self-care habits, but I wanted to start with pointing out a few essentials that have helped me and my clients tremendously. One is getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night and following a consistent sleep schedule. I know that's hard for many of us who are parents. I have a 4-year-old who definitely doesn't have a set bedtime right now. I do try to get in at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. 2 is exercising regularly and maintaining a healthy diet, which we just spoke about. Now, I'm not gonna lie, most days exercise for me is running behind my daughter or putting the dishes in the dishwasher, which leads to me end up washing the damn dishes. And yes, that's a strenuous routine for me. 3 is avoiding mood altering substances and people, as well as unhealthy coping mechanisms, and we can all list what those could be. 4 is setting and establishing boundaries in relationships and not being afraid to stay true to who you are, live in true self, true essence. 5 is having a work-life balance and practicing stress management techniques to prevent burnout. In my career, I got so tired of seeing women, especially women of color, including myself, struggle with feeling insecure, being overwhelmed, not having the time or the resources to help them succeed on a higher level. And I'm talking about regular women, celebrity women, all the same. I've seen so much mental strife and struggle. And these mental blocks can be shattered with a dedicated mind shift. And that's why I changed my style-wise business from wardrobe styling to lifestyling and coaching, because I saw that so many women needed more than a styled outfit. They needed genuine and compassionate support to address their internal wardrobe before they could flaunt their external wardrobe. That is so important. You must reclaim your mind and your power to live the life you desire and deserve. It requires loving yourself, forgiving yourself, and treating yourself with compassion and patience. Now, genuine self-care isn't easy, and depending on your vices, it ain't cheap. But I do believe that working with a life coach such as OSA and Nogia, or a therapist to help you gain a greater clarity and self-awareness that can help make self-care feel less like a chore is great. Some of us struggle to learn how to take care of ourselves because we're on autopilot in adulthood. But again, the first act of self-care we can commit is making the decision to start acting more consciously and compassionately in our favor. Take a stance for your self-advocacy. So with StyleWise, I design routines and compile resources for self-care. Committing to self-care, a self-care routine specific to your lifestyle makes a huge difference in your mental health and your personal well-being. I can attest to it. I designed a routine specifically for you all today. I call it the pursuit of self. This 4-step routine is derived from the word self, SELF, and you can incorporate it into your daily life. So, self, let's start with S, shift. One of my favorite quotes is, change your mindset, change your life. Your mindset plays a huge part in how you view yourself in the world. The mind houses our emotions, judgments, worries, secrets, and many of us don't even realize that our own thoughts can be holding us back from reaching our full potential. It's such a powerful place, and because of that, it's important to constantly grow and adapt your ways of thinking. You have to continuously work on shifting your mindset to embrace new perspectives if you want to become a more accepting and abundant person. Keep in mind, I am not a master of these things. There are times when I do none of the following and wallow in self-pity like I almost did today, but I can usually pick myself up from a bad situation and turn it around with the help of my mindset shifts. Reciting affirmations in the mirror is one of the ways I do this, which leads me to E in self. E is for esteem, self-esteem. Self-esteem is your confidence and the ability to achieve and thrive in life. It's your self-respect. Self-esteem is the barometer for your self-advocacy. The pressure should always be aiming high. A high self-esteem is beneficial for your whole being. It can make you look at failure and rejection from a positive lens, as a learning experience rather than something to justify your low self-esteem by feeding it. You can have a balance of it. When I say high, I'm not saying, super high, superficial, super dramatic, or overconfident, but, a balance of it. Having high self-esteem makes you less prone to feeling anxious, upset, and frustrated when surrounded by challenging situations. Rebuild your self-esteem by reiterating the truth about yourself to yourself in writing, out loud, and in your head until you can actually begin to believe it. I'm very big on affirmations, but affirmations don't work unless you truly internalize them and be very specific. One of my daily and most valuable affirmations is I am. I am me. I stay true to who I am. I speak as I am. Again, it's so important to be specific with your affirmations so that you can activate and truly reach your highest potential without flinching. And then you'll be able to help someone else, your girl, your man, your mother, whoever, so that they can level up to their highest potential. And now all of you are living your best lives, and nobody can negatively affect that. Don't be afraid to apply yourself and your brand newness, even if others can't see the rewards that you foresee from leveling up to your true self. Next is L for love, self-love. Recognize who you are and align with it the way you truly want to see yourself in life. Self-love is about loving yourself without needing to make comparisons to anyone else. It's taking pride in your performance and your achievements, the small and the big ones. It's giving yourself the validation you need and recognizing that it's okay to feel uncertain and doubt yourself now and then. That's normal. Take time for you. Take time for your physical well-being, your body. Take time for your mental well-being, your thoughts, and time for your emotional well-being, your spirit. Remember your worth. Know your real worth. Start by viewing rejection and failure as a learning experience. I look at it as being one step closer to achieving what I want. Failure and rejection is just a part of the package and a part of the journey to the final destination. Make a list of everything you have accomplished in life, no matter how big or how small. Again, I personally like vision boarding for this because it allows me to truly authenticate, my goals, to see them and go back to my board and put some cute little diamond tacks or, check it off or whatever it is, dance around it, we accomplished that. I had my husband do a vision board as well. He definitely wasn't into it at first. He thought it was a female thing, but not at all. And he's certainly come a long way with his mental and mindset building as well. And he enjoys seeing what he's accomplished on his vision board. Lastly is F. F is for forgiveness, self-forgiveness. Research has shown that those who practice self-forgiveness have better mental and emotional well-being, more positive attitudes, and overall healthier lifestyle. Self-forgiveness. This enables us to separate who we are from the mistakes we've made. That way we can begin to learn from our choices and find ways to make amends when possible. It'll be easier to truly forgive others when we start forgiving ourselves. And forgiveness takes time. Yeah, it's certainly taken a lot of time and a lot of gut wrenching for me to forgive myself and forgive others, but I'm better at it. I just implore you to take your time and don't discredit the importance of dismantling limiting beliefs and work to forgive yourself and others, because your self-care depends on it. And that is the pursuit of self-shift, self-esteem, self-love, self-forgiveness, a mind map for your self-care. Please get help if you need it, and don't be ashamed to do so. You're here today for a reason. I recently hired a life coach to help me stay on track, and she's been absolutely amazing, because this last year has been extremely difficult for me to stay focused, as I'm sure it has been for many of you. that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you all for your time, and I look forward to connecting with some of you.
Our prayers are with your mom. Thank you so much for your dedication to still being here with us today and dropping the gems. The breakdown of the pursuit of self, shift, esteem, love, and forgiveness is so necessary. And once again, thank you. I'm so grateful for all of you for joining me in this. You all heard from various levels of life coaches. There are different types of life coaches. And when I was looking at the type of life coach that I wanted to be, I looked at my gifts. I looked at my skills. I looked at what I'm good at. What I'm good at is partnerships. I'm good at events. And the coaching model that I am doing is an events to coaching model. So this is the first of many events and many series to come. If you are interested in attending, if you're not on my email list or not following me on social media, definitely email me at coachingbyosa@thegiftagency.com. And I hope all of you ladies will be able to join me again.
I'm so grateful to be here with so many dynamic ladies.
Thank you, Doctor. I got so much more information that I needed. The panel of women are amazing. Also, I have to say a special thank you to my sorority sister, Eki. She gave us some amazing words of affirmation.
OSA, I love you. Eki, I love those affirmations because I said it to myself. I am a queen. I have couples.
Speak it.
You could say love is coming to me, abundance is coming to me, good health is coming to me, my future husband is coming to me. All of it.
Put it out there.
I'm really honored that OSA has chosen me to be one of the panelists. I just heard Nogi and I was like, tell me more.
Like Nogia said earlier, self-care starts with self-reflection. Self is your sense of who you are, deep down, your identity.